miserable frozen meatballs. I don't do that. I do it from scratch, baby. Yes, from scratch. Italian meatballs with beautiful ground fresh beef, lean, 99% fat. And we have some nice crusty Italian bread. We're gonna peel it and we're gonna use it. Have a little bit of cheese. We're poor today. We're gonna make it very delicious with very small ingredients and with $2 only. So I'm gonna show you today how to make with just $2 in under 10 minutes delicious, mouth-watering Sicilian Italian meatballs. Let's get going, guys. Very simple ingredients, guys, so let's get going. We have some nice crusty bread here. Any bread you have, any bread you think like, oh, I don't want to eat that, it's too old, that's what I love to actually make meatballs with. Any crusty, old Italian bread, we use that, baby. We're gonna have some milk here. Anybody has a couple of tablespoons of milk, get the beautiful piece of bread here, soak it in this 2 spoons of milk. Very, very easy, just soak it. Listen to me, you're gonna have beautiful, wonderful, delicious meatballs in about 10 minutes or less. So we get the inside of the bread actually. I want the inside of the bread, and I'm not gonna throw the outside because I'm not feeling like making pasta today. So I'm gonna eat my meatballs with whatever left over with the crusty part. I'm gonna get the juice in there. So we have here, so this is not garbage, just we'll put it here in a minute. And now we have this beautiful bread, soaks in the milk for a minute or two. And then I have here about half a pound of meat, ground beef, I should say. Ground beef, lean, very lean actually, 99%. I'm not using too much fatty here. I feel like healthy, and I'm gonna leave the bread here to soak for a couple of minutes. While this happening, a couple of different ingredients going in this meatball recipe. Crushed garlic here. I'm using about half a teaspoon of the crushed garlic, and it goes in there. About a tablespoon of breadcrumb, Italian breadcrumb, everybody has that. That goes in here. And what is this? Why it came to me again, frozen meatball? Get out of here. And then we don't want to frozen, guys. We're gonna make it fresh today. Little bit of flour, just a baby teaspoon of flour. It goes in there also. A nice big tablespoon of grated parmesan reggiano. Yeah, baby, make that too. Yeah, let's do it. And then I'm gonna have some Italian seasoning. I have basil, dried basil, black pepper. I have some salt, some pepper. I made my own little spices here. My own spicy here. I have the spices ready for me here. Just a little bit of that. It goes in here. How much? Just use about a half a teaspoon or a quarter teaspoon, whatever you like. And that goes in here. Of course, some beautiful fresh basil. What meatballs without fresh basil here? Then it goes in there. A couple of basil leaves. I tear it with my hands. I don't use knife with the basil again. I just tear it with the hand. And keep it coarse like that. Yes, I want it coarse like that. What else can go in here? Nothing else. Just some love. And now we're going to get dirty. We're going to soak this bread here. And we're going to milk the cow. Get this milk out of the way. We're gonna get this delicious pieces of the bread in there, and that's gonna give me the bonding agent for this delicious grandma style, nonna style meatballs. Off it goes. Couple of drops of milk will not hurt, and I'm gonna just get my hands here dirty there. I'm just gonna get it going here and get dirty and just roll it all of that together. If you need egg, you can put egg. I don't use egg, but if I feel it's dry, I'm gonna use a little bit of that milk left over from the bread. So we just get dirty here. We roll it here. And we need this meatballs like such. And if it gets a little bit strong, this is perfect, but in my opinion, I would love it a touch. I wish you can go in there and you feel that. I wish you can feel this meat with me. But you can tell, like it's kind of stiff a little bit for my liking. So what I'm gonna do here, some of this delicious piece of bread left over, I'm gonna take it out. And about half a tablespoon of this milk, it goes in there also to give me some more moisture. So remember, if it's too strong and too firm, I should say, you get some more milk going. And you keep it soft and nice here. If it gets too soft for you, what should you do? You got it. Some grated cheese will work, some breadcrumb, some more bread. Maybe if you have some crusty pieces of the bread, I could get some of those crusty pieces of the bread. And don't follow specific recipes. Italian food is about relaxation. The grandmas make it with love. So you have to feel relaxed. You have a glass of Pinot, have a glass of wine before you start this recipe. And believe me, everything is gonna flow along beautiful. And that's how I learned it also from a grandma in Italy. One time I was in Sicily, and I learned this recipe, and it's very delicious. And I didn't see it here in America, so I thought I'd bring it to you today, and we share it together, guys, and we get this Italian recipe, the beautiful Italian recipe to you guys. Alright guys, so now these meatballs are perfectly ready and happy, and I'm not gonna make them miserable again. Sorry to bring this I want to say ugly, but like it's not very pretty looking frozen meatballs. I just brought it from the supermarket just to show you what is that. And that's okay, but it's not what I want to do. It's not what I'm about. Even the size, I don't like it. So I'm going to make a very nice, gigantic meatballs. I might make 4 or 5 out of that. So that's how they do it in Italy. Get a nice, big size meatball. It's going to shrink a little bit once we finish with it. So the best way, let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go here, 2 halves. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm making 4 meatballs out of this half a pound of meat. Here we are. So I'm gonna go like this with my hands. What you can do, you can get your hands wet with that milk here also. Wet your tips of your fingers with the milk mixture here and just go like this. And just go like that. And with love, you don't want to actually press it. Don't press it too hard. You know why? If you press your meatballs too hard, the ground beef is gonna be so tight. It's gonna be actually like so dry. You don't want that. And also I'm using almost fat-free ground beef. Very little fat here, about 1-2%. But I'm using the fat from the milk, from the cheese. That's going to give me the moisture I need. So if you press the hell out of it, believe it or not, you're not going to have that beautiful, nice, delicious bite. You're going to have a tight bite, dry meatballs. And that's a perfect meatball. Now here, I have a tray, just a little bit of vegetable oil, nothing fancy here. And just roll that meatball there and should roll beautiful, happy, happy there. And we'll get to the next one. Now again, your fingers, wet it down with that milk. Yes, with the milk, and it's gonna give you that beautiful texture from the outside. Rest it in the palm of your hand, curl your hand like such. Place that meatball there. You already shaped it a little bit with your fingers like such. With the right hand, now with my left hand, it goes in here. And the palm of my hand hugs it very well. And I'm wearing gloves just to be nice to you guys. Usually when I make this for myself, I got a couple of people eating here, so I'm using the gloves. When I make it only for myself, I wash my hands very well. And off I go, and I feel actually the texture very well. Remember, we don't roll the hell out of it. Only a couple of minutes. That's the perfect meatball shape. It goes in here. And we go for the next one. And I'm going to make 2 more just to show you. And 1 more here. Let's go faster. And this is perfectly ready. And 1 more. Little bit of milk. You already got the idea, so I want to speed it up so you don't get bored on me. That goes out of the way. Here we call it a perfect shape meatball. Just roll it around in the oil. And it goes in the oven 350 degrees, and that meatball will cook in about 15 to 20 minutes to about 75% cooked, not perfectly cooked. And the reason being, I'm gonna pair it later on with that beautiful marinara sauce. So the marinara sauce is very famous in Italian culture, and that's gonna finish cooking in the sauce in a few minutes. So let's get to my oven. My oven is cranking at 350 degrees, nice and hot and ready to receive my gorgeous meatballs. So let's go to the oven and see what's going on over there. Oven ready, 350 degrees. Drop some of this cooking white wine to give me some moisture in the bottom of that tray. So this way the tray doesn't burn inside the oven, and give me some moisture for this meatball. So the oven is ready here. Open the oven, drop this meatballs in there, and off we close the door. And we'll say goodbye to those babies. We'll see you babies in about 15-20 minutes. So the meatballs are out of the oven, guys, after 20 minutes have passed, and they look great. You can eat them just like that. But I have here some beautiful, delicious marinara sauce, and I'm gonna just boil some of it, as you can see. And I'm gonna try to cover this delicious meatballs with this sauce. So the meatballs are gonna go in this bath of this deliciousness. So they're gonna go there and celebrate one more time. So that's how you finish cooking them. And if you recall, I already told you guys we cooked it 75%, not 100%. And why is that? Look at that sauce on the meatball and you'll understand why. Because we want these meatballs completely finished cooking to leak some more of its own juices in that beautiful marinara sauce. And of course, whenever you talk Italian food and you're talking meatballs and tomatoes, what's missing? You got it, the basil. Never too much of basil. Get some of this delicious fresh basil leaves in here. Drop them in. Some black pepper, just a little bit, not too much. And of course, some more grated cheese here. And you're gonna be ready in about 2-3 minutes. Just heat them up with the sauce. Like I said, cook them 100%. Make sure they're cooked, and they feel great. Actually, they feel very soft. They're like a sponge kind of thing. They're not so rubbery at all. And this is one of my favorite. You could dish this on the top of your favorite pasta, spaghetti for the kids, or marinara. You know, just the way it is with the meatballs is fine. But I'm gonna have it actually with the rest of my crusty bread. Remember my little pieces of bread? I love those crusty breads. Most of you would throw that bread, I would not. I'm very greedy because I'm just like Italian. I like to eat everything. I don't throw a thing. So those beautiful little pieces of bread are gonna go there, and they're gonna be very delicious with my meatballs. Get a couple of basil leaves here, And remember, we're poor today, so we're not too fancy, just very simple. And by now, I think my meatballs are greatly happy. Shut the flame off. Let's dish it. And I'm just gonna have one only. And actually, I'm gonna have one more for you guys, just because I love you. So one more goes in here. And off it goes. Now the great moment comes when the chef finishes and he sits and he enjoys his meatball. Let's see, guys. I'm gonna get the bread also going here, but let's check the meatball first. Let's check the texture, the anatomy of that meatball. And let me tell you, it feels so soft. Look at that. You don't need to press it at all. It just falls apart. Not too bad point, but great point. Look at that. Wow, look at that. That looks great. And now we get some of this delicious marinara sauce into it. I'm gonna just have a bite without the bread. Honestly, it's awesome. You should try it, guys. It's so delicious. I wish you guys are here with me. I would have given you a bite for you to eat too. But unfortunately, you're not here. But fortunately, you already know how to make it. So I want you guys to try it. And you also can get the bread, like I say. You can make like a little mini sandwich, like a meatball parm. That's how meatball parm is made, actually. And you dig in there, and you get a little bit of basil. Remember the basil, don't forget. And open your mouth wide, and let's go. Very, very delicious. Honestly, forget about frozen. Once you try this recipe, you will never go back to frozen meatballs. I promise you that. And I'm just gonna have one more bite here before I leave you everybody in peace. And honestly, it's so delicious. Heaven. This stuff has everything. You don't need any bread. You don't need any pasta. Honestly, it has everything in it. Remember, it had the bread. The inside of the bread was in there. I'm eating with the outside. So you don't need anything. If you want a pasta, definitely go for it. Enjoy it. Guys, if you have any questions, don't forget to drop me a comment below. And I promise I'll get back to you. I want to see these comments rolling, guys. Ask me questions. Don't be intimidated by this recipe. It's very simple, very easy to make. And they are Italian, 100% Sicilian, by the way. Alright, guys, I'm just going to say goodbye to you before I go. Thank you very much for your subscriptions. They meant a lot to me, and I've seen them coming a lot lately. I really greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And this way you'll see my next videos. I promise you to come up with new recipes, easy ones, fresh and delicious as always. You guys can cook it. If Chef George can cook it, yes you can. Thanks for watching again. Great night, everybody.